Ruben Amorim is about to step in as the new Manchester United manager, and there's a lot of us thinking the same sort of things. Should Ruud Van Nistelrooy stay as part of the coaching staff? Ruud's influence as a club legend, the former manager's assistant, and the current interim has actually left some fans divided. And with the announcement that Amorim does plan to bring his own backroom staff in, I want to look at, should Ruud be kept around? What's his role been so far? What are his ambitions? And what's the benefits of him staying? And is there any potential clash with Amorim's vision? So when Ruud Van Nistelrooy joined us in July this year, it was part of a broader plan to sort of reinfuse the Dutch football philosophy into the club's DNA, alongside our Dutch manager and obviously our Dutch first team coach René Hack. He was brought in on a 2-year deal as part of Ten Hag's vision for a change and a development of supposedly a cohesive possession-based setup. And Ruud's responsibilities were day-to-day training. As assistant coach, he managed training. Now, I saw it myself. He was the one that was on the pitch leading training, supposedly helping implement Ten Hag's tactical vision and approach. You would also presume, with his background as probably one of the best strikers I've ever seen, he would be involved in coaching some of the forwards, dedicating significant time to helping our forwards improve their movement, their positioning, their understanding, and focus on the attacking side would hopefully bring some sort of an edge to our front line. Now, despite those efforts, the start of the season was rocky, inconsistent performances, and not really scoring enough goals, and it led to Ten Hag's departure. Ruud was appointed as the interim manager. Some fans wondered whether he'd be a long-term candidate. I didn't necessarily think that was realistic at the time. The Ineos acquisition has moved with absolute lightning pace and brought in Amorim. Ruud's gone down quite well as interim manager, and now we're like, wait, does he have to go now? Ruud wants to stay. And I think his loyalty to United is evident. He has openly expressed a desire to continue, saying United would be the only job I would take as an assistant. I have to say I really enjoy the role. I commit myself to the role of assistant manager, and I did it with great pride. Now, for Ruud, this is a bit of a unique role. He is an experienced first-team manager. It was always a bit of a madness, and there was always the rumours like he's going to be interim when Ten Hag gets binned, which turned out to be accurate. He's an experienced manager. Taking the assistant role at Manchester United is technically a step back for him, even if the club is bigger. He says he's very motivated to stay, and he's got the absolute goal of being able to remain at the club and support Amorim if given a chance. I think his commitment also extends to the willingness to step back into a supporting role if Amorim decides that he wants him as part of his staff, and I presume Ineos are probably going to have a bit of a hand and a bit of a say in this. When asked about whether he wanted to stick around with Amorim, he said, staying here with Amorim, I'm here to help. He gets it. And I think he's a great personality. And obviously we've seen the news recently coming out that the players really want to keep him around. Now, on one hand, I don't think this group of players deserve to have a say in that. On the other hand, it's nice to know that they do value Ruud's input. I think one of his biggest strengths is he understands United. He understands the culture and the values and the expectation. And some people don't think that's important, but I do think that's important. His experience as a player that won the Premier League with Manchester United gives him credibility both with the squad and with the fans. And I think that can be invaluable for the new manager and during the transition. I think United should keep him, and I'll tell you why. First and foremost, the mentorship for young forwards. Ruud's track record of one of the most clinical finishers we've ever seen has to bring value to Højlund or Xerxes or even Garnacho and Rashford. He's got unique insights on movement, on timing, on finishing that you can't just get any random bloke in to come and talk about. He did it at Manchester United, wearing that shirt you're wearing, like wearing that number you're wearing. While Amorim can focus on everybody else getting to grips with the very technical and tactical details that he wants them to, Ruud can just be like, here's how we put the ball on the back of the net. Continuity. Now, sometimes change is good. Sometimes change can be disruptive. with the coaching staff likely to experience a bit of an overhaul as Amorim brings in what will largely be his own team, I think retaining some familiar faces within the squad could help ease that transition. Now, he's obviously got a relationship with some of the players in the squad already. That's going to help him. But that continuity can help bridge the gap between what Ten Hag was saying and what Amorim's saying, especially as players adjust to new training methods and tactics. It can help. There's a connection to United's past, which I guess some people, again, don't really like. I think it's very important. Otherwise, why do you continue to support the same team if you don't think history is important? Why don't you just pick a new fucking team every August? I think having a club legend on the staff can be helpful. He can always talk back to what the standards of this club should be and are. And I think that can be beneficial, especially when bringing in a manager from a bit of a different background that's not experienced the Premier League, that's not experienced United in the past. But there's challenges. As beneficial as Ruud's experience and loyalty are, there will be potential challenges in retaining him alongside Amorim. A cohesive backroom staff requires trust and unity and a shared vision. And what you don't want is Amorim thinking that, is Ruud going to run off and tell Ineos if he doesn't like something? There's obviously a difference in football background. You're looking at an almost unique tactical approach if he wants to bring the 3-4-3 here. Van Nistelrooy is literally Dutch, which means he grew up in the very much Dutch way of thinking and looking on that 4-3-3, the traditional focus on possession and structured build-up play. Amorim might prefer assistants that are more aligned with his ideas on pressing, transitions, and flexibility. Tactical philosophy. Amorim's tactical style is known for those things I just mentioned, that flexibility, fluidity, the high press, the compact defensive shape. The Dutch method isn't known for that. If Ruud is willing to take on those new ideas, yeah, he could be an asset, but his expertise with the forwards can be valuable. Amorim might look for coaches that specialise in building the units, because that's what really matters in the 3-4-3. And then there's the importance of alignment as well. The manager has to trust his assistant. They can't be arguing every single day. They've got to work seamlessly and they've got to be on the same page, giving the same message. And if Ruud's the one out there on the pitch delivering training, you want the words that are coming out of his mouth to be in full support of what the manager's trying to achieve. You can't have him undermining that. And sometimes a different perspective or opinion can be valuable, but too many disagreements can lead to conflict, and you're never going to get that cohesive sort of everyone pulling in the same direction kind of thing. Amorim's a young coach. He's got a very defined tactical approach. He might want assistants that are fully committed to those methods rather than trying to blend multiple styles. And it already looks like Rennie Hack is unlikely to stick around. Reports are indicating that he's not going to be kept around. He doesn't expect to be kept around. Hack obviously joined alongside Ruud under Ten Hag. So one coach going does mark a bit of a departure from the Dutch coaching influence, and maybe United haven't allowed that information about Ruud Van Nistelrooy, if he's going, to leak yet, because it's going to undermine the team for the remaining games that Ruud's in charge. Amorim will want assistants that understand his system, share his approach, and bring synergy to training. Bringing in his own team ensures that the staff know what they're doing, and he doesn't have to teach it to Ruud to teach it to the lads. Hart going, Ruud's going to lose a key ally that probably shared some of his philosophies. That might make it a bit harder for him to influence training and adapt to Amorim's system. Amorim's focus is going to be on building the backroom staff to his preference, and that could mean that there's less space in there for Ruud. In the end, the decision on Ruud Van Nistelrooy's future at United is probably going to be an Ineos and Amorim joint decision. Ruud's experience and familiarity with the club, his forward expertise, the potential for him to take training with those players is a valuable asset. But Amorim might prefer a clean slate to fully implement his vision without any legacy coaching influences. It's a decision that's going to be complex. There's a case for him staying, His connection to the culture, his rapport with the players, his work with the forwards. There's a strong argument there to keep him around. And in transition, that could be really valuable. And there's a case for moving him on. Amorim's tactical system demands and needs total unity from the coaching staff to be able to deliver it. It's a massive decision. I'd lean towards keeping him, but that might be out of pure sentiment and because I don't know the realities of trying to implement a brand new system in the way that Amorim's going to do it. Let me know your thoughts. You want to see Ruud stick around? Or do you think Amorim should go his own way? See you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.